Hello friends, I am Dr. Savita Desai from Devchand College, Arjun Nagar. Today I am going to discuss with you the topic phase equilibria. This is the topic for 5 units included in the syllabus of Shivaji University, Kolhapur, of BSc Chemistry, Semester 6, paper number 13. It involves the introduction, that gives phase rule, the equation, different terms involved in the equation, certain aspects like phase diagram, true and metastable equilibria, and then we are going to discuss in detail certain one-component systems like water system and sulfur system, two-component systems like silver lead system, Ki water system and ferric chloride water system, and at the end of the topic we are going to discuss the three-component solid liquid system with the help of development of triangular phase diagram. The example is acetic acid, chloroform and water system. So to begin with, the homogeneous system, a system which has same composition of the constituents in every part of the system is called homogeneous system. This is the system where all the constituents present in the system are in a single phase or single state of matter. For example, pure gas or air in the classroom. Let it be the air near the bottom, ground level, or near the roof of the classroom. It is having the same composition of all the gases present in the air. That is why it is the example of homogeneous system. On the contrary, the heterogeneous system is having different composition of the constituents present in the system in different parts of the system. The system whose constituents are in different phases or different states of matter is called heterogeneous system. For example, a mixture of two immiscible liquids. If we take two immiscible liquids together, they do not mix into each other and hence form two different layers, lower layer and upper layer. Though both the liquids are belonging to the single state of matter, that is liquid, still these are two different phases, as the upper layer and lower layer are having different composition, and that is why the system is heterogeneous system. Gibbs phase rule was deduced by Willard Gibbs in 1876. Phase rule is applicable to all heterogeneous systems and helps to know the effect of temperature, pressure and concentration on the system. It can be stated as the sum of the number of phases and degrees of freedom of any system exceeds the number of components by 2. Mathematically, it can be expressed as P plus F is equal to C plus 2. Or in other words, F is equal to C minus P plus 2, where F is degrees of freedom, C is components, and P is phases. So we are going to see the terms involved in the phase equation or phase rule. System is nothing but the part of the universe which is under our consideration, which we are going to study. Homogeneous system and heterogeneous system, just now we have defined these two types of systems. In the phase rule itself, there are three different terms newly involved in the equation. These are phases, components, and degrees of freedom. Let us discuss these one by one in detail. First term is the phase. It can be defined as it is a homogeneous part of the system which is physically distinct and separated from other parts of the system by definite bounding surface. The words which are highlighted here are most important. These are the conditions where we can define the phase correctly. So it should be a homogeneous part of the system. The system under our consideration is a heterogeneous system. However, it is involving number of homogeneous parts. So that part which is itself homogeneous, it should be physically distinct from other parts of the system, and it is separated from other parts of the system by definite bounding surface. The first example of this is air. Air is a mixture of different gases, but all the gases are present in a gaseous state. We cannot distinguish one gas from other. So, air is an example of a system having number of phases P is equal to 1. Another example is of water in beaker. Water itself, it is a liquid phase, and the vapors of water above the water level is another phase. So liquid and vapor. This system is having two phases, P is equal to 2. Another example is that of a mixture of water with a soluble salt or soluble or miscible liquid, like acetone. If we mix any miscible liquid into water or soluble salt into water, it gets dissolved completely, and we cannot distinguish that liquid or salt from water. So it is not physically distinct. So such a system, a solution of a miscible liquid or salt in water, is having two phases. One is the liquid solution, and second is the vapors above the liquid. So P is equal to 2 for such system. Another example is that of water and benzene or any immiscible liquid. If these two, benzene and water, are mixed together, being immiscible into each other, they form two different layers. Water forms lower layer and benzene forms upper layer. So there are three phases which are physically distinct from each other, and definite bounding surface is there to separate them from each other. So one is liquid water, another one is liquid benzene, and the vapors above these two. So P is equal to 3 for this system. Another example is that of calcium carbonate solid heated to get calcium oxide solid and gaseous carbon dioxide. Here there are two solid phases. One is calcium carbonate, another one is calcium oxide, and the third phase is that of gaseous carbon dioxide. So P is equal to 3 for such system. Here we should note that each solid constitutes a separate phase, except in the case of solid solutions, because in solid solutions the two solids or many solids form a homogeneous system itself. Another example is that of water system. Water can exist in the form of ice, solid, liquid water, and water vapors. So there are three phases possible. P is equal to 3, solid, liquid, and gas. This is the summary of all these examples that we have discussed just now. Second term involved in the phase rule is component. It is the minimum number of chemical entities which are essential to express the composition of every phase present in the system directly or in the form of a chemical equation. We should take note of these highlighted words like minimum number of chemical entities which are essential to express the composition of every phase present in the system. The expression can be direct one or in the form of a chemical equation. Remember, the chemical entities or formulae we require to express the composition of every phase should be a minimum number. For example, how we can directly express the composition? Water system, it is having three phases. If we need to express the composition of the solid phase, we require only single formula, H2O. Same is the case with other phases like liquid water and water vapors. So a single formula, H2O, is sufficient to describe or express the composition of all the phases, solid, liquid and gas, present in the water system. So C is equal to 1. Water is a single component system. Similarly, sulfur can exist in 4 different phases: sulfur rhombic, sulfur monoclinic, sulfur liquid and sulfur vapor. However, all these 4 phases, the composition of these can be expressed by single formula, that is S. So C is equal to 1. Sulfur is also a single component system. Let us discuss the example of a mixture of salt and water. As we have discussed before, it is having the liquid phase, that is composed of salt and water. We require both these formulae to express the composition of this liquid phase, and therefore C is equal to 2, that is salt and water system is a 2-component system. Very peculiar example is that of the system which is having ammonium chloride solid heated in a closed vessel. If ammonium chloride solid is heated, it gets sublimed and converted into ammonia and hydrochloric acid gas. But if we consider the 2 phases, ammonium chloride solid and the gaseous phase, the composition of both these phases can be expressed by a single formula, NH4Cl. because in a gaseous state or phase, the composition of the gases is 1 ammonia and 1 molecule of HCl, 1:1 composition. And therefore mathematical sum of these two formulae will be NH4Cl. So a single formula NH4Cl is sufficient to describe the composition of solid ammonium chloride and the gaseous phase present in this system. So C is equal to 1. If we consider another system, calcium carbonate heated to get calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. So 2 solid phases and 1 gaseous phase, its P is equal to 3 for such system. However, out of these 3 formulae, calcium carbonate, calcium oxide and carbon dioxide, we need any 2 formulae to express the composition of every phase present in the system. For example, if we take these 2 formulae, CaCO3 and CaO, to express this system, we can say CaCO3 is equal to CaCO3 plus 0 CaO. Calcium oxide phase can be expressed as 0 CaCO3 plus CaO. And CO2 phase can be expressed as CaCO3 minus CaO. So this is the indirect or mathematical way to present, to describe, to express the composition of the phases in the form of an equation. Another term involved in the phase rule is degrees of freedom or variance. Variance or degrees of freedom, it is the minimum number of variables which must be specified in order to describe the system completely. That is, here we are going to describe the system completely with the help of the different variables. The condition is that we need or we must use minimum number of the variables such that the description of the system must be a complete description. For example, if the system is a mixture of gases, there are different gases of different composition at different pressure and different temperature. There can be different mixture, different gases mixed together at different pressure and temperature. So we must specifically mention what is the pressure of the system, what is the temperature of the system, as well as what is the composition of the gases present in the system. So to describe this system completely, we need all the 3 variables, pressure, temperature and composition. And therefore, the system is a trivariant system. The degrees of freedom F is equal to 3. For a system containing given mass of a pure gas, for such pure gas we know PV is equal to RT. So out of the 3 variables, pressure, volume and temperature, any 2 variables are sufficient to describe the system completely. Because if we know the pressure and volume, we can know the temperature. If we know the volume and temperature, we can know the pressure. So any 2 variables from pressure, volume and temperature are sufficient to describe the system completely. And that is why this is an example of bivariant system. Degrees of freedom F is equal to 2. For a system having saturated solution of salt, we know solubility is directly proportional to the temperature. And that is why solubility or composition and temperature, these are the two variables out of which if we know one, another can be calculated or known. So one variable out of composition and temperature, concentration and temperature, one variable is sufficient to describe the system completely. And that is why this is an example of a univariate system. Degrees of freedom F is equal to 1. Let's take another example, pure liquid. We know the vapor pressure is directly proportional to the temperature. And that is why out of the two variables, temperature and pressure, any one is sufficient to describe the system completely. That is why the system is an example of univariant system. Degrees of freedom is equal to 1. Very peculiar example is that of water with three phases: ice, liquid water and vapors, all the three existing together. This is the point called triple point. This can happen only at a peculiar temperature and pressure, and therefore we need not describe, we need not mention or specifically mention temperature or pressure. Nothing is required. It is sufficient to describe the system completely that the system is at the triple point. So F is equal to 0, the system is non-variant. The conditions of equilibrium of a system can be conveniently studied by means of Gibbs phase rule. And it is expressed in the terms of a diagram or a graph known as phase diagram. If pressure is plotted against temperature, the diagram is named as PT diagram. This is useful for single component systems as there is no question of composition. However, for two component systems where we must have the composition taken into consideration, and therefore we plot temperature against composition. So such graph is known as TC diagram. This is useful for two component systems. Phase diagrams involve two different types of equilibria. One is true equilibrium. It is the equilibrium state in any system when the state is obtained by approach from either direction. This is called state of true equilibrium. For example, the equilibrium between solid ice and liquid water can be attained by carefully cooling the water as well as melting of ice. However, the equilibrium between the supercooled water at -4 degrees Celsius and vapors, this equilibrium can be achieved only by very careful approach from one direction, that is, careful cooling of water without any jerk, without any disturbance. However, by melting of ice, we cannot attain this particular equilibrium. And therefore, this state of equilibrium is called metastable equilibrium. There are certain lines or curves in the phase diagram which represent the true equilibria and metastable equilibria. We shall discuss these different systems and phase diagrams in the next lecture. So, kindly subscribe to this particular channel of mine. Make it easy chemistry. Please like, subscribe and hit the bell icon to get the notifications of my videos. Thank you.